Hello, people of the internet. I am the man of the plan, and welcome back to the Kilmac lead. It is week 13. This time, our highlights package sees Rathcormac Dynamos going up against Portlaw United, and it looks to be a promising game. How promising it is exactly, I don't know, but we're going to see that now in a minute. But yeah, Rathcormac are a team that haven't really done a lot of winning, but they haven't lost a lot either. They've only lost twice so far this season, which is a fairly impressive record to have. Having said that, though, they don't win often enough, so they're not near the top of the table. But they do have enough draws that the points are starting to add up, and if they can get a few wins going, they'll definitely be definitely be title challengers. Yeah. Anyway, so aside from that, there's not a lot I can say. It's another draw, so that day wasn't the day. But Portlaw were given tough competition, and Rathcormac haven't given up 3 points. Now we move on to a game I really wasn't expecting to be as close as it was. John Walters FC versus Kilmac Thomas AFC. We see this so often that the top team plays the bottom team, and it's just an absolute blowout. But John Walters FC, someone lit a fire under them today because they were determined not to go down without a fight. And things got really crazy then in the 23rd minute when John Walters received a call from John Walters, and John Walters squared it back to John Walters, and John Walters, with nothing else to do, fires John Walters FC in front for the lead. It is John Walters, number 16, with that goal. And his team are absolutely delighted with that, and you can't really blame them. That is fantastic. And then John Walters, with excellent attacking play, won the game. Amazingly, they won 1-0. It is not a very glamorous win, but it is a huge moment for them, and it's a huge 3 points going towards the relegation fight. They haven't been this good since their week 1 win over Kiersey's United. That game they won 6-4, and that was a very entertaining game. But yeah, there's a huge win, and now eyes looking at that win. Two pairs of them would have been TFR and Byron Kilmeaden. You really can't look beyond them. So Tombango, Shango, Kronk, Chapman and co were looking to steal some points away from the home side, and Kim Jong-un picks him out with a lovely through ball here, and Tombango just fires it home, a lovely volley, and he's keeping up his excellent form in the league so far. He's in the running for the Golden Boot competition, and he is not letting any ground slip in pursuit of that. So yeah, there's not much to say. Then man with the plan on the wing fires in. Tombango tries to jump, and that's it. But Room 55 Fishy has it, and they did fashion a few chances, but it really wasn't enough in the end. Definitely the deserved team was the one that won. So yeah. Room 55, despite their best efforts, and I would say Room 55 do give a good effort every single time, but you can't really effort isn't always enough to win games. Sometimes you just come up against teams that are better than them, and this is the case today. Byron Kilmeaden were an exceptionally talented team, playing to the best of their ability, and you can't really beat that much. Greenway Astros are another team that might have been looking to potentially get into the title race, and with Dunhill Electrical Company at the Emirates Stadium, they definitely fancied their chances, but Dunhill were by no means an easy opposition to take on, and they proved that in the 50th minute when Bobby Charlton fired a rocket past Grew in that goal. I have never seen that before, where the keeper just couldn't move and he was rooted to the spot as a striker fired the ball past him. But that's what happened today, and Greenway Astros were in for a rude shock as Dunhill took the lead. Not a very common occurrence we've seen. I mean, we've seen Dunhill be downright awful at times in this season, but not tonight. And despite the best efforts of the whole team to get forward and force extra time, there was no room for that. And 1-0 the final score. It is a huge loss for Greenway Astros. Potentially kills their whole season here, you have to say. And as for Dunhill, another 3 points for the relegation battle. So yeah, John Walters FC will be feeling slightly aggrieved that another team won an easily losable match. But yeah, I suppose that's the way it goes, isn't it? Now we have two title challenging teams. Two other teams would have been looking at the John Walters versus Kilmac result and saying, this is my chance. Flahavans more so, they are right down the necks of Kilmac Thomas, breathing down the necks of Kilmac Thomas. But it was John Milan and St. Mary's Hurling who struck first with that thunderbolt shot. 65 minutes gone, and the away team are in front. It's an excellent way for them to begin the scoring. I was going to say begin the game, but it was 65 minutes in. But yeah, it's a fantastic shot from John Milan, just hammers it, and Dino's off has no real chance of getting to that. But and then Flavins obviously had to go for it, and that was their final mistake. Playing through past there, and Hugh Jass looking for someone to give it to. They just kind of played it around for a bit, and the shot then coming in, and it's not quite there, but they just wasted enough time that it took the control of the game out of the hands of Flavins, gave it to St Mary's for the win. 3 points in the bag for St Mary's men, and they are returning to title challenging ways. A long cry from their title defence that they were looking to do. But anyway, by the way, I don't know if this is the first week you see them, but the crests have changed, and I quite like them. So do let me know what you think of them, because actually, I do quite like them. Anyway, it looked like it was going to be another easily winnable game for CF Dungarvan, who were looking to get into the title race as well, but Raoul and Greenway Rovers are determined as well, and they struck first. Then Thomas Mikolauskas, on a dreadful kick out, hands the ball to Raoul again, gets a second goal of the game, and 2-0 down. It doesn't look good for the crowd at Spar Abbey side, who were expecting their team to show a dominant display. But then this happened, an absolutely beautiful goal from Eusebio, a bicycle kick. It's exceptionally taken, and Dungarvan are back in the game with 14 minutes to go. And it's something, you really can't plan for what Eusebio is going to do on the day. That's something that Dungarvan have, and as I said, you really can't plan, and you really can't. Eusebio equalises in the 91st minute. Injury time. It looked like Greenway Rovers were going to get the 3 points and going to get themselves back on track, but Dungarvan have shared the spoils here at Spar Abbey side. They will of course have wanted to win, but given their position, this is an excellent result for them. It's a valuable point, and when we look back on it at the end of the season, this might be the result that has saved it. So yes, CF Dungarvan 2, Greenway Rovers 2, that is it. And now we move on to Kildisco and Kiersey's United. This is another easily winnable game for the away side, but as the home side has learned, the Minnows have had a habit of upsetting the bigger teams. But Kiersey's United were determined not to be added into that statistic, and as you can see, they laid assault to that goal of Kildisco, and despite a lot of resistance from Kildisco, Kiersey's United were eventually forcing their way in, with Matongo Bongo getting the goal on 19 minutes, and then this beautiful through pass played to Fortnite Cancer, just completely sidestepping the defence there for Kildisco, and it's Hoogie Bap Bap Spingy, the other one of the legendary two strikers, who gets his way and has a second goal for Kiersey. So 2-0, and it's not looking good for Kildisco, but on the stroke of half-time, Gerd Muller gets into some lovely space, and he fires it home past John Power, the singer, as we know, of the late 90s hit single Kilmac Thomas Girl. But the home side, and still in with a chance of upsetting their away guests. But as for that was half-time, but it wasn't over yet by a long shot. It's still a worrying sign for Kiersey's, but they do have the lead heading in at the break. I have to say, though, Kiersey's not looking as strong as they were last season, but they have still managed to put results together, which is an impressive thing to do. But then this happened, as Kildisco was allowed through unbelievably. But then we have to say that's pretty shocking defending. But anyway, Kildisco gets the second goal and equalises, so this is another huge loss of points. In a game that seemed full of them, or in a week that seemed full of them. I'm actually, my mind is blown with the amount of points dropped this week. But yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. And Kiersey's came forward anyway, looking for a win, and trying to find someone to break that deadlock. And it's poked through, and it almost, if it was just a little inch or two back, Hoogie Bapap Spingy probably could have got his head on that and poked it past MC Tyrone there, and Kildisco goal. But as it stands, 2-2, it's a share of the spoils again, but a really disappointing result for Kiersey's United. And then we looked at two teams that were also breathing down the neck of Kilmac Thomas AFC. That is, of course, Tesco Ballybeg Wanderers and Kent's FC. I want to say Kent's like that. Kent's FC. Lar Kent, in one of his last games for the club. He's only got 2 weeks left. He's only got 1 week left, and this is his last game that's going to influence the title. But yeah, he's determined to make the most of it to give his team the best chance possible to win the league in his absence. And Gary Lineker put through Jonathan Maher, and how unlikely would this have been if he scored, but he didn't, of course. Lack of shooting training perhaps showing there. But yeah, Tesco did have their fair share of chances as well, and despite being hooked there, it was a great shot from Obabo that was barely wide of the post. But You know, then eventually we did get a goal as Larkent breaking forward created so much space for Luka Modric. He had no choice but to shoot and score, and that is going down for goal of the season. It's an unbelievable strike from distance from Modric, and it looked to have given Kent the win. So yeah, you know, it's Lara's last home game, and they really do want to make it special for him. So they've given him a great setup, as you can see. Excuse me. Yeah, so yeah, it's a really fantastic goal. You can't put it any other way than that. It's just brilliant. Casillas, it's not Casillas. It is actually, yes, it is Casillas. Has no chance on that goal. You know, he's beaten before the ball even leaves Modric's foot. It's just so far into the other side of the net, and you know, you can't sort of speed out. But anyway, it wasn't the last goal of the game. This was a 1-1 equaliser. Thierry Henry somehow getting his head on that, and that is another game that Kilmac Thomas AFC have seen go their way as teams around them drop points as well as them. So yeah, that about does it for this week. I've been the man with the plan. Thank you for watching my videos. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Until then guys, take care.